Good morning and welcome to Ebona the 103.5 FM. Today, the 13th day of February 2024. The time is a minute past the hour of 7 this Tuesday morning, and it's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. That a complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that the complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona Day 103. We are going to take you through the news making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Punch, Vanguard, Daily Post, Sun, The Nation, This Day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 08096661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona the 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Access Holdings names Bolaji Agbede as acting CEO. Nurses protest move to stop career opportunities abroad. 10 years after verdict, women folk still await property inheritance rights in Southeast. Stakeholders. Police raid black spots. Arrest 307 suspects in Abuja. Stakeholders urge states to prioritize a fight against substance abuse. Alleged $6 billion power to try me, ex-minister Aguloye tells EFCC. 113.8 million undocumented Nigerians raise doubts on population size. Insecurity Center receives 14,000 illicit weapons recovered from criminals in Southwest. Overstood Ruling House. Others reject Adeleke's waste selection order. Lagos Task Force. Lagos Task Force impounds 497 motorcycles. Abduction. Father of slain Anambra lawyer slumps dies. NLC pegs wage against Naira depreciation amid calls for urgent action against hardship, hunger. Wigwe. NSIB collaborates with US agency to probe crash. UK Minister Badenoch visit first British independent school in Nigeria, West Africa. The alarm over kidnappers in Ondo. Africa AFCFTA pledge to eliminate trade barriers within Africa. Gunmen kill lawyer in Imo, 4 others in Plateau. University of Ilorin introduces Lecturer of the Year Award. Forming a government of national unity will solve our problems, says ex-minister. Lagos receives 1,577 petitions and resolves 1,027 on housing malpractices. Sales rep bags 7 years jail for child abduction. Federal government places 2 million naira bounty on lawyer wanted for using hot iron on house help. Federal government urges inter-ministerial subnational collaboration to tackle food insecurity. Labour Party absolves Abure as treasurer wants him investigated for alleged 3.5 billion naira fund. Fire consumes shanties, buildings. Cameroon seeks ties with Nigeria. How I had planned to ingest poison by guardian of freed abducted Ikiti pupils. Group donates to less privileged pupils of Ikeja Police School. PDP governors, Lagos Assembly hinges security on state police. Gates, Dangote Foundation's eHealth Africa boost polio fight in Zamfara, Kebbi. NMPCL's 193 billion naira travel expenses surpasses allocation for ministries. NMPCL's 193 billion naira travel expenses surpass allocation for ministries. Edo trains 1,500 vigilant operatives. Reaccredit 6,500 others. Edo trains 1,500 vigilante operatives to reaccredit 6,500 others. Senate threatens to fire non-performing service chiefs. Reps plays ministry's inability to defend the 75 billion naira COVID-19 expenditure. Non-governmental organization equips schools with 35 million naira in Ondo. Nothing will stop my second term, says Diri. Murder suspects assault journalists for covering trial in Niger. Enugu SMN signed 1 billion naira deal to empower MSMEs. Current poor power supply beyond us, says EEDC. Channel SSB tax to cancer care. NASR tells a federal government. GEF approves a $2.6 billion FAO projects for Nigeria. Others banish any thought of regulating social media. Rights activist tells Bajabiamila. Sustainable growth must embrace developing trends, says a Secretariat Club. ECOWAS commits to fostering democracy, good governance. Customs intercepts 52 elephant tucks in Cross River. Swansea Varsity reinstates Nigerian students. Police warn citizens against cyberbullying, fake news. We will mitigate potential risk associated with GMOs. Others, traders, touts, attack NAFTAC team, vandalize vehicles. Access Holdings names Bolaji Agbede as acting CEO. We've taken this. One chance robberies resurfacing in Ketu, Oworo Shoki. Others, says Lagos Police. MFLA approved $6.2 million for international election observers. Witness. NPA revenue deduction. Workers threaten to shut ports. Yahaya Bello, experts fought on ending persecution. Wigwe. NSIB collaborates NTSB to investigate helicopter crash. Shell supplies crude to Port Harcourt refinery. High cost of food. Deputy Senate President Lord Tinubu for releasing grains. Lagos launches 2 months all expense-paid training program. Herbert Wigwe, Nigeria involved in investigation of plane crash, says Kiamo. Fire Guts Police Divisional Office in Kanu. FCCPC urges NERC to consider stronger punishments for airing discos. Why Nigeria must completely phase out fuel, electricity subsidies. IMF. Oil theft group laws military's onslaught against oil thieves. Unbearable cost. Tebu sachet water producers close shop in Enugu. Tinubu hails Super Eagles' resilience, talent at AFCON. FCT, UBEP, laws week for approving 30.9 billion naira for school rehabilitation. Tinubu assures Nigerians of food security. Medical practitioners tax charge parents on addressing drug abuse among youths. Exiting oil firms pollute Niger Delta with 36.1 million liters of crude in 8 years. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. From the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. Inspire Online, summit to promote insurance, pension initiatives for retirement, review basis for 1 million naira minimum wage, NACCIMA asks NLC. UNICEF unveil as platinum sponsors for SAIPEC 2024. Lawmakers, maritime workers kick over MPA's 50% federation account remittances. Estimated meters overbilling. FCCPC backs next sanctions on 11 discos. Experts predict global shipping disruption over US, others elections. Oborowore seeks oil firms support for Delta Security Trust Fund. Abandoned vehicles litter sea force over high tariffs. Police recruitment, no date fixed for examination, PSC. Wigwe's cryptic post hints at end of life. Things you probably didn't know about late Access Bank GMD, Herbert Wigwe. JAMB warns students against fake admission letters. Reconsider mass transfer in police. SAN tells IGP. Crisis rocks Labour Party over 3 billion naira campaign funds. Holding all elections in one day makes sense, Akanda. APC members, leaders join NMPP in Kanu. Leaked memo. We advise Tinubu over fifth columnist, says Arewa think tank. Edo PDP Congress aggrieved aspirants threaten legal action. Mbudem emerges Accord party share, vows to reposition party. Nigeria is at critical stage. Halioro. Edo governorship. APC issues screening certificates to 12 aspirants for primaries. AFCON. Tinubu hosts Super Eagles. And that's the much we can take from the Leadership newspaper this morning. From the Leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Alleged forgery. I'm sick. Bayelsa senator tells court. NEDC plans a waste recycling plant. Jonathan Mons, ex-chief of staff, Arubofa. FAAN, CBN departments relocation suspicious. Emir of Kanu. Lagos Assembly pushes for state police. NAFDAC insists on sachet alcohol ban. Hoodlums attack officials. Access Holdings names Bolaji Agbede as acting CEO. Police honors ex-NGCC DG Adebije Police honors ex-NGCCDG Adebija. Court reinstates suspended Benue APC chair. NMCN not stopping nurses from moving abroad. Registrar. NAFDAC insists. We've taken this. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning. Fubara gives Air Force officers widow 20 million naira. Pregnancy support belt may reduce fetus oxygen supply, increase heart rate. Fresh bill seeks creation of 3 states. Plateau community laments as gunmen kill 3. Oborowere seeks support for Delta Security Trust Fund. Remove grade level 14 limits for teachers. NUT. How Emefiele led the CBN released $6.2 million for foreign election observers. Director. Lagos State government to maximize waterways tourism potential. Foundation plans a fundraising to assist out-of-school children. Oguloye loses bid to stop $6 billion Mambila fraud trial. Global tablet shipments drop 10% to 37.8 million. Canalys. Task force proposes psychiatric test for one-way riders. 4 alumni bag British Council awards. Power supply in Southeast beyond our control. Enugu Disco. Police Chief Tunji Disu pays tribute to Herbert Wigwe. 16 nude videos found in suspended University of Calabar Dean's phones. Witness. US-based professor premieres a documentary on Ayinde Barrister. Police vow to clamp down on persons spreading fake news. Economic hardship. Kanu traders slash prices of essential goods. Nigeria's wealth overestimated. Country very poor. Presidential aid. That's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. From the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. Tell your husband Nigerians are suffering. Emir of Kanu tells First Lady. Cadbury shareholders approve loan conversion to shares. AFCFTA critical issues of infrastructure must be addressed. Rwanda High Commission. Money lenders back FCCPC over action on digital lending violation. Wigwe Ogumbajo significantly contributed to finance sector, says bank directors. Naira adoption surges as value in circulation rises 302% to 10 billion naira. Here, brothers, 30 orders for alleged internet fraud in Enugu. Nigeria's very poor country. Our wealth is overestimated. Presidency. Buhari's reckless policies are responsible for current hardship. Oshomole. Shoyinka in search of Nigeria's next Noble honoree. Buhari reckless policies are responsible for current hardship. We've taken this. Dangote, Governor Abiodun, AIG Imokode, others pay condolence visit to Wige's parents. Hardship, do something today. Nigerians are suffering. Lukman begs Tinubu. PDP governors arrive Abuja for crucial meeting. Crisis hits Labour Party. Treasurer asks Chairman Abude to account for 3.5 billion naira. Nigerians suffering from Buhari's policies. Ochemule. Cote d'Ivoire declares Monday public holiday. AFCON 2023 should be sacked. Peter side. Over 120,000 Nigerian refugees in Cameroon cry for Tinubu's help to return. Nurses protest over new certificate verification guidelines in Abuja. 6 ways to avoid Valentine's Day billing as a man. Lagos nurses protest reversal of new verification guidelines. Many students are being kidnapped from Castana schools. Governor Rada cries out. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Femi FAAN relocation to Lagos will save us over 500 million naira on travels alone. Kiamo, Wigwe, Ogubajo significantly contributed to finance sector, says bank directors who taken this. Money lenders back FCCPC over action on digital lending violation. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning, from the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Daily Post newspaper. Naira crashes to 1,534 Naira against US dollars at foreign market. EFCC arrests 4 suspected internet fraudsters against US dollars at foreign market. EFCC arrests 4 suspected internet fraudsters in Benin. It will be difficult for Tinubu's government to pay 100,000 naira minimum wage. Presidency, 40 million. It will be difficult for Tinubu's government to pay 100,000 naira minimum wage. Presidency, 40 million naira fraud. Mama Boko Haram, 2 others to spend 10 years in jail. Hoodlums attack NAFDAC officials in Abuja. Witness narrates how ex-CBN Governor Emefiele approved the $6.2 million for international election observers. Declare state of emergency on security. NUT begs Tinubu. Nigerians suffering from Buhari's policies. Oshomole. Sporting Lagos. Rivers United to clash Wednesday in Lagos. Gunmen kill PDP reps candidate in Anambra. FCT. Residents express fear over moves to set up motor parks in residential estates. Lawyers appeal to Oyo State government to appoint more judges. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. From the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Alleged $6 billion fraud. Court declines ex-minister Agloe's preliminary objection. First Lady Fabemi Mawa advises states on drug use prevention treatment. Governors, NSA join forces to battle insecurity, food crisis. First Lady to Nigerians, challenges to be over soon. Kanu Anti-Graft Agency seals 10 warehouses for allegedly hoarding goods. Emefiele, while we paid out $6.2 million by CBN director. Nigeria's oil production up by 177,000 barrels per day in January. Access Bank workers will sustain weak-based legacies. A blow of fate. Nigeria, very poor country with overestimated wealth, says Onanuga. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. How about Wigwe, 1966 to 2024, Abiodun, Wike, Dangote, Peterside, others visit parents. EFCC arraigns a businessman over alleged fraud, 15,000 to get 750 million at trader money launch. How APC will win a governorship poll on November 12th. 2 million naira bounty on woman who inflicted bodily harm on maid. Woman stabs neighbor to death over water. PDP panel recommends a political solution to Edo crisis. Kidnappers fleeing Ekiti for Ondo, says Amotekun boss. Ayedatiwa orders tight security as funeral for Akredoru begins. Oshun community, kingmakers Chon Adeleke's letter ordering fresh appointment of king. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. And from the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Access Bank announces replacement for Herbert Wigwe. PDP governors tackle federal government over high cost of living. The Sun Award, Honorable, Credible, Ifekudu, Onwumere. Gunmen attack Imo farm settlement. Kill police inspector. Free 7 inmates. Abduct others. 4 killed. 3 injured in fresh Plateau attack. Wazirike predicts more hardships. Nigeria needs spiritual cleansing to overcome challenges. Adeboye, Wigwe, we've lost innovative friend, compatriot, Udom, Emmanuel. Holden, Kanu Anti-Graft Commission seals 10 warehouses in Kanu. Poor leadership. Forget about second term. Ex-minister tells Tinubu. Tinubu becoming insensitive, lacking directions. APC ex-National Working Committee member tackles Asiwaju. When AFCON 2023 became political weapon, why APC rejected zoning for Edo Guba election, Abba, ex-minister of budget and planning, Edo 2024, Umaike. 11 others received APC clearance certificate to contest primary. Another crisis rocks Labour Party as treasurer asks Abure to account for 3 points. Elected delegates to affirm Edo APC direct Guba primary election, Tenebe. Cardoso racing against time to stabilize economy. Access Bank warms up for Valentine campaign. Nigerian capital market history book will attract investment. CIS. Gunmen attack Imo farm settlement with takenness. Wenga Adeyinka to host Tommy Faladay's book party today. Focus on World Cup qualifiers. Amun urges Super Eagles. Paris 2024. FIBA confirms Nigeria 11 others for Women's Olympic Basketball Tournament. That's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. From the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to This Day newspaper. Current hardship caused by economic and security challenges. PDP governors declare. Fresh crisis hits Labour Party. Treasurer accuses national chairman of fraud. Electricity Act. Partner government on renewable energy. Akpabio tax investors. Food security requires agric. Water resources ministries collaboration, says the federal government. South Africa's president, Ramaphosa, Mons Wigwe, says he was his country's continental partner. Electricity Act, partner government on renewable energy, Akpabio tax investors. Naira continues to fall at the official market to 1,534. Naira closes higher than parallel market at 1,500 Naira per dollar. Report over 230 European Union companies active in Nigeria account for 130,000 jobs. House proposes 5% host communities fund for mining areas in Nigeria. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. We will now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Oh, yes. Evangelist, Brother James, when I trust when we know, Jesus said, now all say now 3 nights adoration crusade and I talk about this who come on Wednesday 14th, Thursday 15th, Friday 16th, all night adoration. I get just gonna have 21 days fasting and prayer and April come with January. Guru Radaki, Guru Soku Wa, I am in Asana Agada, the Anatolic Communion Gemeregi. Guru Dada and keep like a what did I got to open the door? Wada, Makana Chile can be here the Bama. Get about that village and open city, getting of a new road. This year, but now of a new road. Now, Sama Junction, Ilana County, Holy Land Direction City. For more direction, about 080 331 93613. 080 331 93613. Chilekadi can be here with Baba. God bless you.
Hey, Valentine Kappa, Gadi Qualevo, Zika, Paradise Regain Hotel and Suites. Ogidi, there was a Valentine show for both singles and married with Love Doctor of Ebonadi FM. Ogadi, Rubotuka, 18th February 2024. Na Paradise Regain Hotel and Suites. Ogidi, there will be game shows for couples. Okay, Imara wunye gi nke ọma, nwanyị Imara di gi nke ọma, di na nwunye ga-agba ndị nke mbụ a ga-enye ha otu abalị na Paradise Regain Hotel and Suites n'efu tinyekwa standing fan with di nke abụọ ga-erita MP3 woofer ebe ndị nke atọ ga-erite 10,000 naira ya nakwa consolation prizes ndị ọzọ dị iche iche. Venue Paradise Regain Hotel and Suites off Oyolisa Market by Eras Mbekwe Road, Till Kokoroko. For booking of accommodations and inquiries, phone number 080-289-67296, mobile 080-289-67131. Come with your partner to rekindle the light of your love. Get fee is free. Valentine show for singles and married with the Love Doctor of Ebonadi FM 103.5 at Paradise Regain Hotel and Suites. Ogidi, Biaki Praya Saloko.
Boxing. Monarch Events and Promotions presents the Lionheart and the Champion Homecoming. The event will feature some skilled boxers from Nigeria and other continents as they compete in various weight divisions. Victor Bennett from Nnobi in a local government area, Anambra State, Nigeria, who won over Ghana in his last competition, will compete again with Quinones Diego of Ecuador. There are other boxers set to feature on the card and several others on the undercard. The event will also feature a musical performance from top African music. Charles Okocha will be in attendance too. Let's come out in mass on Saturday, 17th February 2024 at International Conference Center, Oka, Anambra State, to witness and support our brothers and sisters in boxing. It's gonna be great. Don't miss out. This message is brought to you by Love Bites Fruits and Beverages Limited, Nnobi.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets? Our community, our society in general, street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonadi FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government, whatever.
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community, Street Report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanishku, as our number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM Street Reports on Fools.
In your face.
On Emas and Ebonadi corner
24/7. 24/7.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-9666-1035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to this day newspaper. South Africa's President Ramaphosa Mons says he was his country's continental partner. Manufacturers rule ban on sachet beverages. Obi Kubana unveils gaming platform. Federal government stakeholders canvass gender policy for increased food production. Federal government, India seek partnership on geospatial carbon mapping. Lessons for Wike from Delta State, hardship and the orgy of buck passing. As Senate interfaces with service chiefs, security heads today. As court okays arrest of Naira abusers, the plight of female Nigerian soldiers, Chukwuma's political trajectory and quest to govern Anambra. That's the much we can take from this day newspaper. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning. From this day newspaper, will flip over to Nigerian Tribune. PDP governors to Tinubu collaborate with states to end hardship. Ondo 2024. Olushola, okay, is best of all aspirants. Aladetan. Helicopter crash. Oborowore mourns Wigwe. Others. Shell supplies over 475,000 barrels of crude oil to Port Harcourt refinery. Police vow to raid criminal hideouts in Akwa Ibom. Nigeria Army. Police hand over 14,000 illicit firearms to NCCSALW. Why we want inclusion on minimum wage review committee NUP. Sustain Wigwe's legacies. Lagos Assembly tells late bankers colleagues. Ururemi, Tinubu, Fagbemi, Mawa charge states on drug use prevention treatment. NBTE grants full accreditation to Nigeria Korea Friendship Institute. Badi, Opeyemi, bag honorary doctorate from Ekiti Varsity. Experts tax federal government on cost of doing business, investment in infrastructure. Nigerians are hungry. Emir of Kanu sends First Lady to Tinubu. Chon protests instigated by politicians. Arewa group tells Northern youth. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian Tribune this morning. IMF urges federal government to phase out completely electricity fuel subsidies. Ex-Akwa Ibom Governor mourns Herbert Wigwe. Media advocacy initiative for family planning commences in 8 states. U.S. President Biden joins TikTok ahead 2024 election. Herbert Wigwe, NSIB, NTSB to collaborate on helicopter crash investigation. Don't push ASU to embark on strike again. Vice chancellors tell federal government. Kanu government beef up security for Oluremi Tinubu's visit. 200 female students get College of Education scholarships in Zamfara. Hardship. Yobe governor laments hoarding export of food items to neighboring countries. Fight corruption with full force. Factional Labour Party charges Tinubu, and that's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of newspaper headlines on Ebonade 103.5 FM. We will now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you reactions this morning. From our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message is coming from Comrade Manly Oduogu from Odume Obosi, and he says the economic team of our president are busy evolving a wrong panacea to our economic problems, a situation where the monopolistic currency dollar has made a mincemeat of our national currency naira, and the prices of public and essential commodities skyrocket on daily basis. The president and his team are busy distributing tons of rice, garri, millet, etc. to states, portray his team members as bunch of pseudo-economic managers. Based on this ugly scenario, they need to stabilize the economy specifically by adjusting the level and allocation of taxes and expenditure, federal government taxes and spending policies, which are physical in nature, should be designed to influence the level of the business cycle and to achieve full employment, price stability, and sustained growth of the economy. May God lead our president through the right path of economic rejuvenation. Comrade Manly Uduogo from Udumobusi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Agonabo and he's joining us from Ufa Aglozibu. And he says, what we are hearing and seeing in Nigeria is what we call wickedness in high places, as killing will one day become a tradition and the high cost of living is unbearable. What I know is that God is in control. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Chinedu Oneka and it says, woman stabbed neighbor to death because of water. Very bad. She should face the law. Thank you so much for joining us. We have this message. It is coming from Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson, joining us from 33. And he says Dangote Refinery is due to deliver its first fuel into the local market within weeks. It's a welcome development. Let's see it will go. And he says gunmen have killed a police officer and freed 7 inmates in an attack on Okigwe Correctional Farm Settlement is not accurate at all. This country is in a state of anarchy. 4 killed, 3 injured in fresh Plateau attack. The rate of insecurity is becoming over alarming. From Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message is coming from Ogugwa Kenneth Okuchuku from Umuobanam, Umuobalishi Kingdom. He says, in a heterogeneous country like Nigeria cannot bring a solution to their problems. Nigeria is under chronic hardship without intervention upon tap or untapped natural resources is a verge to collapse with high cost of living in the country. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Valentine Edene from Umpo, and it says Nigeria is too big for black man to rule. I suggest to okay, and it says APC party are not good for humanity. From the mouth of masses, number one, citizen is not a product of good leader. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Comrade Ibudu from Abag, and he says, congratulations to the Super Eagles for their victory as a second position in the 2023 AFCON. I disagree with the person that said hardship will soon be over. How can hardship be over when everything is getting higher and higher? They are not even looking for any tangible solution. It's only in Nigeria that leaders care for their safety and family alone. Once they emerge any position, their first thought is how to embezzle. They all know how every nonsense going on in Nigeria can be tackled if they mean it. Okay, may God come to our rescue. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Pauline Wizu from Onitsha, and he says it will be difficult for federal government to pay 100,000 naira as a minimum wage. The federal government removed fuel subsidy without plan. How can the civil servants cope? $1 is now approaching 2,000 naira. Everything is upside down. Tell me how they can survive. It's terrible for everybody in the country. God bless us. God help us. Pauline Wizu from Monisha. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Mwaloto Patrick from Monteje. And he says, I don't think that 1 million naira minimum wage is too much for Nigerian workers considering the current economic realities in the country. It could be a record that since the assumption of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the subsequent removal of fuel subsidy, an average Nigerian worker has been on the receiving end. For example, a civil servant who earns 50,000 naira monthly about 3 years ago and still earning the same in 2024, whereas the prices of goods and services have gone up more than 1,000%. Tell me how that civil servant will be managing to make ends meet and how he would not be corrupt. Upon that, somebody who claims to be sane still have the effrontery and the audacity to say that 100,000 naira minimum wage is too much for Nigerian workers, whereas an average politician collects more than 1,000% of of that per month. Is it not wickedness in the highest level? I am therefore calling on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to stop promising Nigerians of better days ahead, but to immediately do something very seriously and urgently to better the lives of Nigerians. Otherwise, God will hold him accountable if anything happens to Nigerians as a result of hardship. Finally, I vehemently oppose any thought from any quarter to regulate social media. If that happens, it is akin to murder of democracy. Is coming from Maloto Patrick from Monteja. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Chiko Obata from Obinetito Okozu, and it says insecurity is taking over Nigeria. Releasing grain will not solve this hardship in Nigeria now. Let Tinubu return fuel subsidy. Kudos to Emir of Kanu. Nigeria is suffering for Buhari policies, according to Oshomole, but Tinubu told us that he began where Buhari stopped. Please, do I hear Tinubu's second theme? What is he coming? Okay, second time. What is he coming to do? Labour Party should try and put their house in order. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Obiora from Okozo, and it says Sanusi said that the reckless policies of Buhari caused the current hardship in Nigeria. It was only Oga Sanusi said it earlier that Northerners will destroy Nigeria. It is happening now because Buhari came to create insecurities, poverty. Okay, what you just said, there's no proof to what you just said, what he said about Northerners. And then he says, unknown gunmen, bandits. Okay, I mean, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Christian Ufundo from Onitsha, and he says, power supply in South is beyond our control. This is a statement that is being expected to be heard from a weakling, and he says from a person who is incompetent of his or her duty. The person who made the above statement should have told us that what made him to make this type of a shameful statement of his. If they know that they are tired, they will leave the work for those that are ready to do it. They should not they should not behave like a dog. A dog knows that it is not hungry, but refuse to allow fowls eat the food kept for it. Or like a person who does not want to move and refuse to allow others to move. Bufondo continued and says Naira will continue to fall until Nigeria asks herself some questions on how the leaders led the citizens of this country. The problems of this country are not far from artificial causes. Our leaders knew exactly what they would do to renovate this country, but they refused to do it. And that was why we have we have been in this mess. Let Nigeria release all the innocent citizens of this country that we have been illegally imprisoned because before she asks God for forgiveness. Otherwise, there is no remedy for her fall. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll now flip over to our SMS portal to bring you more reactions. From my SMS portal, we have this message. It says, may the soul of Herbert Wibe and the lawyer killed by kidnappers at Obomosho, at Osumo, rest in peace. And it says, may the soul of Herbert Wibe rest. Okay, thank you so much. It is coming from Sir White Nise. We have a message coming from Asaba, Bindu from Asaba, and it says that woman that stabbed neighbor because of water should go to jail. Okay, thank you so much for the recommendation. We have this message coming from Aja from Odume, and he says, "What does Tinubu meant by assuring food security to Nigerians? I don't understand. Emir of Kanu's message to First Lady is like pouring water on stone." We have this message coming from Honorable Osakwe, and he says the rate where people are being attacked and killed in this dispensation makes one to ask if there is government in this nation. It is now pertinent that everybody is free to run for his life and give himself security. I commend the judge that has the courage to commit Mama Boko Haram and others to prison. And people are not only there to complain, but to come out and say no to misrule and gross incompetency of the government in power. Look at how our Naira has become like a pool coupon, and our so-called leaders are promising better tomorrow. Nigeria is in the verge of a crypto influenza as a kidnappers rule. Honorable Sakwe continued and says, okay, the same message, but thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hello, good morning. Clean energy. 7 p.m. Encore. Evangelist. Oh, okay. Okay, Golden City Estate. Okay. Uh, this morning. Okay, okay, okay. Survival. Okay, survival. Still on our SMS portal this morning, we have this message that says, "Kudos to Governor Soludo on his 300 million naira donation ongoing building of university on the Niger, owned by Anglican Communion, and may the soul of the late Abbot Wigwe and family who died in helicopter air crash at California, USA, rest in the Lord." This is coming from Wingate Ikechukwu Nwakeze from Okozo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Austin Ezewaka from Umueze Umuna, she says, "Super Eagles are gallant. Okay, are gallant losers. A heroic welcome for them. They performed wonderfully, but due to wrong people in power in this country, which resulted to hunger and starvation ravaging only the poor citizens, this country that was what shattered the dreams of the blessed boys. Nothing good will ever come from the people in power because their leadership is not of God and they are only adding wound to the previous ones." Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message coming from Alaket Adam Obinna, and he says the people of Plateau are being wiped out daily while federal government is planning on building a military base in Bukos for Wu. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We will now flip over to our Facebook portal to bring you reactions this morning. We have this message coming from Chinwoba Ume, and it says, okay, what is happening in Imo State is worrisome, and the killing is too much there, and everybody are pretending that all is well. May God help us. Thank you so much. We have this message coming from Dr. Mrs. Mma Olebara from Owerri, and she said the truth of the matter is that this government is bereft of ideas of how to solve the complexities of problems bedeviling this country. Any leadership without direction is a colossal failure. Nigerians are gallivanting aimlessly without a directing hand. We lack leading leaders and with passion. They are just after their selfish interests. Where do we go from here? Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Mrs. Imma Olebara. Also on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message coming from Kenneth Ndubisi Okafor from Omo Ezomunachi, and he says Ochomole and Sanusi attributed the current hardship of Nigeria to reckless policies from Buhari's government. Same Uchomule blamed Jonathan government during Buhari's administration. What it shows that the Tinubu's government has no capabilities to make policies that will avert the hardship. A bad workman quarrels with his tools. NLC and Tinubu's government should stop gambling with the welfare of the workers. We are complaining of Japa syndrome, but government is not doing anything to stop the catastrophe that will befall Nigeria if Japa syndrome continues. Kenneth Ndubisi Okafor from Umweze, Umunachi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And this is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning once it's 7 o'clock, so keep a date. And don't touch the dial of Ebona at the 103.5 FM once it's 8:20 this morning. We'll be back with Birthday Splash. Till we meet again, I am Martin. Have a fabulous morning.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. It's Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebona 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebona FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government, whatever.
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu, as our number the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebona 103.5 FM.
In your face.
On Ebona the corner
24/7, 24/7.
7:55. What was it there?
Lush Green Hotel and
Golden City, Abi. Golden. Chinwe si mkpọya by mkpọya immediately nga kwụsị nke green energy aka nye nwata pisi.
5 p.m. till dawn. Featuring music, dance, comedy, drama,
Ya ka na-ekwu na nke Golden City a Chinwe si mkpọya ma mkpọsa nke green energy ọ kwa m ka agwa m ya so ama m. Okay, so ntizie Golden Energy abazie kịta abi.
Come and experience love in its fullest.
Okay, well. Okay. 8:55 nsogbu kwazi nke ọzọ bụ osisi otu o si dị bụkwa.
Ezinụlọ.
Ezinụlọ bụ ọdịmma obodo. Onye goziri ezinụlọ edozigo obodo. Family Family is the foundation of the society. Now, this way, never now, the 103.5 FM, wherever I got it, go to Basale,
Papa, mama, na ụmụaka maka ịmata nke gbasara ezinụlọ sonyere classic lady
Eminary, no classic lady.
n'ebe ọ na-adị 103.5
FM, no girl, the amazing woman. Canada, Garage, every Tuesday, na Friday, 3 to 4 p.m.
Hey guys, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share, right? You're up.
Country people, another ogbonge opportunity don land for you to secure your own landed property for better location with small money before price go carry you go where you no know. This one na legit info from the stables of Robin Fave Concept Limited. I know say you don sabi that name by now. Robin Fave Concept Limited na big name for this real estate business. We get the track record and we dey deliver for everything we talk. Now we bring you Blessed Garden Estate, phase 1 and phase 2. Now we still bring you Airlight Garden Estate and Unique Garden Estate. All these estates, they the capital city of Delta State, and people wey sabi levels don buy them finish. But no worry, because land no dey finish. And our work na to direct you go where you go get the best value for your money. This time, we don carry am come